social media that you, as this political office holder, are holding a fundraiser for the opponent of someone that this political office is investigating. I don't know that it's an actual conflict, but I use that phrase, what were you thinking? It's a what are you thinking moment. The optics are horrific.
But it seems she didn't learn any lessons from that, because when it comes to what were you thinking, this one really takes the cake. Now, what I'm saying tonight does not mean that the charges should be dropped because of her behavior, but it does put into serious question her judgment. She's now facing a hearing next month over the ethics of that alleged relationship.
All right, my friends, get ready to free your mind because it's showtime. J.R. Duke's back with you. We are talking about this Fani Willis saga going on in Fulton County, Georgia. What a mess. This woman is so stupid. The stupidity of Fani Willis and Nathan Wade simply cannot be overstated. These people are crooked. These people should be prosecuted. And the point of today's video is they should step down immediately. We're going to look at a video right now with my good friend here, Dan. He's not exactly Mr. Conservative. He's also not the most liberal person I've ever met, but I think he strikes a chord, and I want us to talk about it. So without further ado, here we go.
I don't say what I'm about to say lightly, but it is time for Fani Willis, the DA in Fulton County, to step down and recuse herself from the 2020 election cases, including that of Donald Trump. Hear me out. This is a criminal case against a former president and many of his supporters. It has major national implications. It has to be done by the books. And yet, now at least it appears she hired her boyfriend, currently in a messy divorce where Willis is a potential witness, to help lead the prosecution. Today, some of those divorce documents were made public. Look, I warned at the start of this case that DA Willis was riddled with conflicts and political entanglements, and they could only get worse as the case went on. But this is worse and so much more avoidable than anything I had imagined. I said from the beginning, once the federal indictments came down from Jack Smith, the Georgia case against Donald Trump himself was duplicative, not necessary. DA Willis brought a case using the same basic set of facts. I highlighted a DOJ policy about multiple prosecutions. It says, quote, the purpose of this policy is to protect persons charged with criminal conduct from the burdens associated with multiple prosecutions and punishments.
Folks, I want to make sure you understand exactly what he's talking about here. Generally, the feds, the Department of Justice, they have policies and procedures because they do not want to have resources, or individuals for that matter, hammered twice. They don't want to waste money. They don't want to waste resources. So what has happened with Donald Trump in this particular case was not supposed to happen under the Department of Justice's own guidelines. Example right here. Here's one of their policies. The purpose of this policy is to protect persons charged with criminal conduct from the burden associated with multiple prosecutions and punishments for substantially the same acts or transactions, to promote efficient utilization of department resources, and to promote coordination and cooperation between federal and state prosecutors. What that means in simple language is they were not supposed to do what they have already done to Donald Trump and friends. Jack Smith, the other special prosecutor, is already addressing these issues. However, sweet Fani Willis decided she had to make a name for herself, and all she has ended up receiving in return is exposing her own corruption
for substantially the same acts or transactions. And it sure didn't help that while she was still running for office, Willis and her surrogates used the Trump investigation to solicit donations and get media attention. She even hosted a fundraiser for the political opponent of an alleged fake elector running for office who she had subpoenaed in connection with her investigation. This is the rebuke that she got for it by the judge.
Okay, make sure you understand exactly what is going on here. Fani Willis, when she was running for office, just like Letitia James in New York, she ran on a platform saying, I'm going to get Trump. I'm going to go after him and all of his associates. Go ahead and give me money, give me campaign contributions, because I am going to get Donald Trump for you. And in this particular case, Fani Willis went ahead and supported the other side, the competitor of an individual she already had under indictment for being, quote unquote, a fake elector. So in other words, you have two candidates, and she supported the guy's opposing candidate. And as a result, the judge says you cannot prosecute the guy that you're trying to prosecute. Imagine that. She supports one candidate, and the other candidate she's trying to put in prison. And luckily, the courts saw right through this, and they simply would not allow it to happen. Now listen to the words of this judge. This judge hammers Fani's Fani. So here we go with this.
Using the title of your office and having on social media that you as this political office holder are holding a fundraiser for the opponent of someone that this political office is investigating. I don't know that it's an actual conflict, but I use that phrase, what were you thinking? It's a what are you thinking moment. The optics are horrific.
But it seems she didn't learn any lessons from that, because when it comes to what were you thinking, this one really takes the cake. Now, what I'm saying tonight does not mean that the charges should be dropped because of her behavior, but it does put into serious question her judgment. She's now facing a hearing next month over the ethics of that alleged relationship with the guy she picked to help lead her case, Nathan Wade. She's been subpoenaed in his divorce case. Willis filed a motion to quash the subpoena, which would have had her deposed tomorrow. She attacked Wade's wife, Joycelyn Wade, accusing her of obstructing the case against Trump. In response to the motion, Joycelyn Wade's attorney submitted bank records showing travel booked on her husband's personal credit cards, apparently for both himself and Fani Willis. Subpoena wasn't quashed. The judge delayed Willis's deposition until after he hears Wade's. The judge today did order the documents in the divorce case unsealed. They include allegations that Wade tried to hide his earnings from his wife since filing for divorce. Her lawyers...
Yeah, the published reports, the soon-to-be ex-wife, this Joycelyn Wade, says she's essentially destitute. So imagine she's married 26 years to Nathan Wade. She bore his children. I'm assuming, because of the math involved here, she probably was with him during the time he was going to college to become a lawyer, or at least she helped build this man's law career. And her reward, she's destitute. She has no money to take care of herself, and she is claiming that Nathan Wade is hiding all this money to the tune of approximately $1 million or so that Fannie Mae gave Nathan Willis. Are you following me here? And he's hiding that from his soon-to-be ex-wife, not giving her a dime of that. That just kind of speaks to these people's character, don't it? Now, again, these are allegations, but there is so much nonsense here. There's so much smoke here. You know there has to be some serious fire.
Claiming he's made about $700,000 in his role as special prosecutor in the case, but hid that money from his wife. And that's where it connects to the Trump cases. Michael Roman, one of Trump's co-defendants, is accusing Willis of going on trips and cruises with Wade, some of which may have been paid for with the money he's making as a special prosecutor. Roman is looking to get the charges dismissed altogether, but also at the least seeking to have Willis and Wade removed from the case over the alleged affair. So far, Willis hasn't tried to explain herself or deny the allegations. Instead, in a 35-minute sermon at a church, she just played the race card, saying the only reason her relationship with Wade was being singled out was because they're both black.
Absolutely ridiculous.
They only attacked one. I hired one white woman, a good personal friend and great lawyer, a superstar, I tell you. I hired one white man, brilliant.
Folks, by the way, what you're watching is blaspheming. She's blaspheming in the church, the house of God. She's blaspheming. It's just that simple. This in itself is a serious sin, and it's a shame that the church even allowed this woman to do this to their church.
Friend and a great lawyer. And I hired one black man, another superstar, a great friend, and a great lawyer. Oh Lord, they're gonna be mad when I call them out on this nonsense. First thing they say, oh, she gonna play the race card now. But no, God, isn't it them who's playing the race card when they only question one?
Fani, Come on, sweetheart. Let's just be perfectly honest with this, and let me make sure you can see me so I can say it clearly. Sweetheart, we don't buy your BS. We don't believe your nonsense. We don't believe your lies. This has nothing to do with black and white. You are a disgrace to the profession of being an attorney, and you have failed to serve your people and your office. And when you play this race card, you're setting a terrible example for other minorities, and you should be ashamed of yourself. It's just that simple, not to mention that you are blaspheming in the house of our Lord. This is just terrible and sad. What I want to make sure you understand, Ms. Willis, is when you say we are only attacking him because he's black, that's a lie. He's being attacked, to use your words, because to our knowledge, he's the only one you're sleeping with. That's the reason why he's being questioned. Now, are you sleeping with other prosecutors? I mean, go ahead and let me know. Go ahead and give me a call. Reach out to me. Contact me here on YouTube. I don't care. I'm here. You're welcome to respond if you're so inclined. But that's the reason he's being attacked, to use your words.
Before, of course, the one happens to be the person she's accused of having an affair with.
Exactly.
Ask yourself this: if Special Prosecutor Jack Smith had hired a woman with whom he was having an affair for a top position leading one of the cases, wouldn't the response be the same? What were you thinking? Think about any workplace where if the boss, male or female, black or white, hires the person with whom they're having an affair with for a top position, it creates potential legal issues. If the person is in government, it creates even bigger issues. And if the person is a DA with that kind of power, it is truly inexcusable, particularly in a case of this notoriety. This is a case involving a former president of the United States being prosecuted by a district attorney who essentially campaigned on investigating Trump and has spent 2 years now in the spotlight on it. How could she not have foreseen this as a problem? And what Fani Willis has done in Georgia is more than just a long-term harm to her own credibility as a prosecutor. She's become ammo, of course, for the former president and his allies to question all the cases, by the way, as any defendant would do with these facts.
That's exactly right, Dan. That is exactly right. Fani Willis has screwed this case up irreparably. It cannot be repaired. She has obviously committed violations of what we call ethics or canons. She needs to be removed from this case immediately, along with Nathan Wade, and they need to both be brought up on appropriate charges, given due process, and then disbarred. Also, there is some serious allegations of crimes that they have committed, something called honest service fraud, and the bottom line is they're guilty of corruption. Let's be honest about it. If these allegations are true, these people are criminals. These people are corrupt, and this corruption must be rooted out. We cannot have a society that allows prosecutors to engage in corruption and get away with it. What do you think? Put it in the comments below. If you're still with me, folks, hit the thumbs up button. Be sure to like, subscribe, send this video to one of our friends that might be suffering from indoctrination. Anybody you think may benefit from it, go ahead, hit the share button and share it with them. Appreciate you joining me. As always, my friends, I always say keep that free mind, never give up. Until next time, I am J.R. Dukes.